Okay, so this is really round 3, okay? And I don't know how many of you were here last week, or excuse me, 2 weeks ago, or on my first talk, but we're really kind of doing this in segments. So we're making sure that everybody is getting what they need. And we're going to talk about how to build a food program that's going to help support your running. Talked about in the past is having enough percentage of carbohydrates, enough protein, and enough fat in your diet for your training. How was 13 miles today? Great. Yeah? Okay. Anybody here going, whoa? All right. All right. Well, that's okay. I mean, if you're saying whoa, that's all right, because there's a lot of things we can still do, and there's a lot of improvement I'm sure we all can make in our day in and day out foods that's going to help you guys say, 13's nothing. Okay? And you guys are building up, and you're halfway there. All right? You're halfway there on your big day, and you guys can definitely do this. But if you look down on your sheet on the meals side, you're looking at what I did is I gave you an example of 2 different male weights and female. So you see 120 and 150 for females, and 150 and 180 for males. And everybody that's looked at this sheet so far this morning has come out to me and said, wow, that's a lot of food. Okay? Yes, it is. It's a lot of food, but this is what's necessary for your weight, for your caloric needs. And I think you guys are somewhere in the low 40s right now on mileage, maybe in the 30s a week. Okay? As you get closer to your big 20-mile run, and your rest of your week there is going to be up in the 50s, and some of you guys are getting in the 60s miles a week. Okay? So inflammation, joints, making sure your minerals. Okay, that's very, very important. So as you look at these sheets here, these are just suggestions. And if you go on my website, you can download a complete food list that you can plug and play. So if it says oatmeal and you don't like oatmeal, you can use bran flakes. If you don't like bran flakes and you want to use brown rice, you can use brown rice. If you didn't want to put a scoop of whey protein powder in there, you can do egg whites. You can do chicken breast. So you can substitute in the different types of proteins at different times in here. But this just gives you a general idea and outline how and what you should eat through your day, Monday through Sunday. This is not just on running day. So if it's Tuesday at work, Thursday at work, this is still the amount of food you should be eating, because you're doing smaller runs during the week, right? And then you're doing your longer ones here with the group. Some of you are adding other activity on top of that even. You're doing other cardio, or you're doing strength training. So what's going to happen is this stuff begins to grow. All right? This is fat. So this is the stuff we want to get rid of. But as your mileage goes up, so will your fat if your calories don't go up to match it. Now, that being said, I want to be very careful, because just adding more calories in the form of carbs, that's going to create more body fat for us. So what we want to do is we want to improve this. This is your muscle tissue. The big difference between muscle tissue and fat is muscle tissue weighs 4 times more than fat. Fat is light, fluffy, and takes up a lot of space. Okay? We don't really, everybody has to have a certain amount of body fat, but we'd like to get it down into good ranges. All right? We don't need to be up in the 20s and 30s. We need to be down in the low 20s. And for men, we got to be in the low teens. Okay? That's healthy body fat percentage. So the trick here is, what I've been preaching the last 2 weeks was more protein. How many people got more protein in their diet this last go around? Yeah? Okay, good. Good. So when you go through and you look at 4 ounces and 6 ounces and 8 ounces, people always say to me, I do not want to measure my food. I don't want to measure, nor do I want to count calories. Okay? I don't want you to count calories either, because that's a real pain. All right? But if you just look at this, and you look at a half of a cup of brown rice, 1 cup of brown rice, 1.5 cups, you guys can eyeball that. You don't have to worry about the calories. You're going to know if you're hungry or not. All right, so every 4 hours your body needs fuel. So you need to give yourself a snack, and a good snack is a piece of fruit and some nuts. If you guys don't have that set up now, get it done. Get an energy bar. I sell organic energy bars. There's a couple organic ones out there in the market. You know, you don't have to buy my stuff, but get something, all right? But if you go and buy just any old energy bar or protein bar, look at the back. Read the ingredients. And if you read the first 5 ingredients and you don't know what it is, put it back, okay? My ingredients are nuts, fruit, organic fruit, flaxseed, and dried fruit. Okay, I think we all know what those are. So that's a good rule of thumb. If you read an ingredient list and don't know what it is, you don't want to eat it. So getting the snacks is the biggest key to your weight loss throughout your day. It helps your body, keeps your body synthesizing fat. Okay, fat is an energy tank. It's a fuel source for our bodies. And as I said before, you get 13.5 times more energy from a gram of fat than you do from a gram of carbs. So it's very important you eat fat. And a serving of nuts is 12, 10 if it's cashews. You're looking at about 10 grams for those of you who want to look up ingredients. Okay? But if you have a breakfast, you skip to lunch, and you go from lunch to dinner, your body has had to eat this. It's had to consume the nutrients from your muscle tissue in order to keep your brain functioning. So your next run or your next exercise, you're not going to be as strong. And so as you guys build and drop and build and drop and build and drop on your mileage, you want to make sure you're staying strong with this. Okay? So it's very, very important. This is a guideline. A guideline, but you need to get in 5 meals a day, if not 6. The last thing on the page, I'm going to answer tons of questions. The last thing on the page is protein, a whey protein shake before bedtime. And I had a lot of people that I say, wow, whoa, really? A whey shake before bed? Yes, your body still is pumping blood, you're still breathing, you're still digesting food while you're sleeping. That is such a myth when people come into my offices and are saying, I can't eat past 7. I'm like, well, what time are you up till? 1. I'm like, that's 5 hours. You know, what are you doing? You know, chewing on your pencil or your computer. That's when the snacks and stuff start coming in. So if you finish off your day with a whey protein shake, your body will digest it. You'll absorb it almost 100% while you're sleeping. Wake up in the morning, blood sugars are normal, you didn't eat something high in carbs, you didn't have a restless sleep, and you don't wake up with crazy blood sugar. If you wake up in the morning and you're not hungry, there's a problem. Yes, lots of smiles. Okay? If you wake up in the morning and you're not hungry, we got a problem, guys. You've eaten too much or had too high of fat and carbohydrates before bed. Okay? So think about that. If you wake up and go, oh, I'm never hungry in the morning, wrong answer. Okay? So this is some good guidelines here. And you don't have to do oatmeal. You don't have to do brown rice. Again, like I said, look on my website and you can download the food list. There's plenty of complex carbs. And again, the number one best thing to do is if it's grown in nature, that's the best complex carb for you, not man's hands. We start getting our hands on it, starts changing absorption, starts changing insulin and blood sugar, and then we're bouncing all over the place. The diabetes, I mean, it's on the rise. Scary. What we have is the recovery after runs. So if you've already started off with something, and you've come back here, you've had a banana, maybe some nuts, and for those of you who are like really on it, you got your protein shake waiting in the car. No, okay, good. All right, so what we need to do is get some electrolytes in your body, have that banana, still trying to get these guys to get some almonds out here for you, get some nuts, that's going to stabilize your blood sugar, pick it up with your electrolytes, okay, replace some potassium and some sodium and get that going. And then for the rest of the day now, you need to have 2 good meals, solid meals, and 2 good snacks. So you could refer back to the front page as an example of what I should do for the rest of the day. I also put on here Epsom salt. Okay, Okay? I did a lot of talking about that before the marathon in 2009, just in May. Epsom salt is kind of a forgotten goodie. Use a container, a quart container of Epsom salt, and put it in a hot tub. And if you guys are stiff and sore tomorrow, okay, and Monday, day 2 really does not feel real good sometimes. It's not really the next day, it's day 2. So get yourself in an Epsom salt bath, and what that does, that replaces the fluids around your internal organs. It gets your magnesium back up, and your magnesium is your super mineral, okay? And it also rehydrates yourself and gets rid of lactic acid. So, just something to use from now going forward because your mileage is going up. I'm going to answer questions in a second, okay? And then, really resist this last thing is carb loading. Resist the temptation right now to go kill it on carbs. Because when you leave here after 13 miles, your blood sugar's not great, you had maybe a piece of fruit, and you might not be getting to food in the next 45 minutes, and then you put it off, and an hour and a half from now, you are so hungry you could eat your shoe. I mean, bad. It's really bad. So then what you do is you go and you really carb up. All right, because you're thinking in your head, I'm running the marathon. I just ran 13 miles. Here comes a lot of pasta or whatever it is. Don't do that. You're going to get enough food spread out through your day and your week with this type of a schedule to where your glycogen storages are rebooted. Okay? You don't need to carb load right after a run. So please, 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 do not do that. There's some more sheets. Great. Thank you. So anybody else need some sheets? Okay. Just go ahead and just pass these back all the way. Thanks. All right. So really get that protein in after the run. So right now, wherever you're going, please go get everybody in this room, it needs at least 4 ounces. At least. And a lot of you need upwards of 8 to 10, which is just, it's really incomprehensible for a lot of you. I mean, to eat 2.5 chicken breasts, you're thinking, my God, that's a lot of protein. But really after running, and if you have the kind of muscle mass, your body needs it. So everybody in here should at least be doing 4 ounces of some kind of protein when you leave here now, and at least a half of a cup to 1 cup of a complex carb, and throw some vegetables in there, all right? And you got a good square meal. Then have a snack after that, all right? And then have another meal, and then a protein shake before bedtime. Be perfect. Okay? Don't leave here and carb load up and go to Starbucks. What happens is your energy this afternoon starts diving down. You're like, whoa, you're falling off the cliff, and what are you doing? You're smacking the coffee, you're hitting the iced teas. You guys are doing all kinds of caffeine, okay? Caffeine is a diuretic. It forces water out of your body and affects your adrenal glands. Your adrenals are sitting on top of your kidneys. And they're going to be shaking like little raisins, like, oh, no water, and like lots of caffeine. Don't do that. Okay? Get your water in, get your food in. If you want to do a little caffeine, I'm not against caffeine at all. Have a little bit myself, half a cup organic, just because of the acid level. If you have stomach problems, back off the coffee bean in Starbucks. They're super acidic. Go get your own that's organic and low acid. Have 1 cup, maybe a cup and a half. But when you guys are doing espresso and you're doing tons of caffeine, okay, to get through the energy phase, use food. Food is your fuel source, please. And you can back down on that caffeine. All right, last 2 weeks ago, I was here and we talked about supplements. And you know what? I really, truly don't care if you get them from me or whatever. Get them. All right? The stuff that I'm telling you to get is really going to help your performance, period. Okay? It really, truly is. If you've got a multivitamin at home, okay, use it. There is a difference in supplements. There is a difference in quality, so know that. You got a $6 multivitamin, you got an $18 one. The 18 one's not ripping off if it's, it's pharmaceutical grade. All right? So you guys all get free shipping through my company, and you get 20% off all your supplements. Okay? So, but again, to reiterate, if you've got fish oils, you've got a Kirkland, Costco, 3,000 tabs of omega-3s, use them, okay? Use them. Omega-3s are good at this time of your life. All right? They help with mental clarity. They help with immunity. They help with inflammation. All right? You want to be getting into the 2,000 milligrams, 3,000 milligrams. And if you have bad inflammation and you're older, 5,000 or 6,000 milligrams is not out of the question at all to get that EPA, that DHA, and the omega, okay? So it can really help out your joints. So I put a list together of supplementation based upon all the emails I got, which were fantastic, and the questions that I have about how to use the supplements in general. There is some D-ribose out there on the market, which is one of these guys under your long run. But it's really not a very well-known product, and I've been using it for 16 years, and it was used for fibromyalgia, and people had muscular pain and fatigue and had no energy. I stole it from that. I use it with all my elite athletes. It's like the best thing on the planet. It's awesome. It creates energy, ATP. It has malic acid in it, which promotes cellular reconstruction. So I don't think you're going to find, there is some products out there that have low milligrams of it, but we're talking about using 5,000 milligrams to 10,000 milligrams of it. Most of the products that might carry D-ribose have 300 or 400 milligrams. That's not enough to do anything for you guys at this level of activity, okay? So a foundation, get a good foundation of a calcium, a magnesium. Zinc is fantastic for immunity, okay? Very good. Get a multivitamin in. Do not take multivitamins before bedtime. Common mistake. A lot of people with high B1s, 6s, and 12s, folic acid, you'll have that before bedtime. You're like this. Why can't I sleep? You know, and then when you do fall asleep, you're a dragon slayer. You know, you're flying around with a sword. Your dreams are crazy. You're like wake up like, wow. I mean, that was crazy. I was Aragon. You know, yeah, you get really crazy dreams. So don't do that before bedtime. All right. So what we want to do is we want to have your multivitamin. If you miss your multivitamin in a day, let it go. Just pick it up the next day. Okay. Magnesium. I have over here on the other supplements list, magnesium malate or glycinate. There's another magnesium out there called citrate. Okay? The malate and glycinate are more formulated for athletes and people who are active. Okay? I use malate quite a bit with people who have digestion problems with elimination. Okay? That is generally a vitamin C deficiency and a magnesium deficiency, okay? It's not a family gift, ladies, all right? It's not inherited from mom and mom's mom, and just, we all have that problem. Well, you all are deficient in magnesium, that's why, okay? So work on getting some magnesium into your diet. Look at your calcium, look at your multivitamin, see what the milligrams are, but you need to get yourself up in the 1,000 to 1,500 milligrams of that. Joint and inflammation pain, I went over this two weeks ago. If you have chondroitin and you're buying chondroitin separately, you're wasting your money. Glucosamine is the important supplement there. And all good orthopedic surgeons and people that are in the field of sports and activity know about hyaluronic acid. They actually use it for injections. I said it 2 weeks ago. Knee replacements, cartilage on cartilage. They're going to put HA injections, hyaluronic acid. That is a fantastic formula together. You will get results from that. These are not placebo effects. When you're running and doing what you're doing, you're going to get benefits from these supplements, you guys. This is not, I'm doing a lot with this Clear Channel right now, and some of you know Bill Handel. Bill Handel is now on my program, and Bill's a skeptical guy, and he told me right off the bat in my first meeting, he goes, vitamins and minerals are bullshit. Straight up. Well, 3 weeks later, it's like, wow, I was wrong. I'm doing my martial arts, I'm doing your cardio, I'm doing all this stuff, and wow, big difference. There is a difference. But the common school of thought is this stuff doesn't matter, but it does. But supplementation is supplementing. I said it last time. You're just adding to your foods. Okay? So that's the real key there. Now, when to take and what to take for long runs and short runs. I use an hour because an hour really is different levels of ability with your runs. So if your run is going to be an hour or less, you don't need a lot of this other long fuel source type stuff. You need just some short, some L-carnitine is a good thing to do, some electrolytes, go out there, and boom, do your exercise. But you do need to do the whey protein and some glutamine afterwards, or a protein. You don't have to do whey. If you want to just go get protein, that's great too. I mean, better to eat that than doing the powders. But follow up your activity with exercise. When you start getting into the longer runs, this D-ribose, having electrolytes, and this carbolin that I have is a carbohydrate. It's a fuel source, okay? It is not an electrolyte drink. It is actually going to give you energy on the run. And what it does is it bypasses absorption in your stomach. So it's in your bloodstream for energy now. When you're taking goos, you're taking all this other stuff, it has to be digested, broken down. You get distended, you get bloated, you get gassy. I mean, it's crazy. And then by the time it gets to your bloodstream, it's over. You don't get much from it. And then you spike and you drop, and you spike and you drop, and then you're in goo hell. All right. So this kind of stuff. The nitric oxide, I said it before, it's kind of a scary word. Okay. It's not scary. What it does is it dilates muscle tissue to pull in from the bloodstream. So it's like, okay, give me the nutrients. Give it to me now so I can get them done, so I can process them. So it allows for whatever you have and eaten, we call it supercharge. Okay, plain and simple. It's going to pull glutamine, it's going to pull any sugars or anything into your muscle so you got fuel now. All right, add that with some D-ribose, and D-ribose creates ATP. It's a 5-carbon sugar. That's a carbohydrate too. Okay, so you get these guys in combination, and you put in a little electrolytes in there, and now you've got some great fuel in your water. Now you're at 13 right now, and when you get to 15s, 16s, 18s, we need to start talking about sodium tabs. Okay, I happen to use an electrolyte mix here. We have our own breaking out in January. We're going to be in Vitamin Shop, GNCs all around with our new line. We're breaking with it all, but this stuff is sodium free. And the reason why I like sodium free is because most of us in here through our daily diet are getting a heck of a lot of sodium. So if you start drinking electrolytes on top of that are loaded with sodium and loaded with sugar, now you've got, I don't know, blood pressure issues, you've got absorption, you've got distension. So I like a non-sodium mix, and then I want to add my own sodium back in. Okay? One of you guys in here came to me last 2 weeks ago and was taking a little too much sodium. So we backed that down and feeling much, much better, but then brought in the idea of, hey, you're getting in daily sodium in your diet. Okay? So be careful. A lot of you right now don't need a lot of it, but when we start getting a higher mileage, I do want you to do that. And then lastly, the post-run. I cannot reiterate enough on the supplementation. Make sure you have some foods that are healthy for you today. Don't go out and get the sweet stuff. Put some good fuel in your bodies, and you're really going to see the benefits of that. I promise you, you're going to see the benefits. Okay? We just posted, again, I'll reiterate, we posted for you guys some tips through the holiday. That's on the Roadrunner website. That's on the LA Marathon website. It's on mine. And lastly, before I questions, I'd like to wish you all a happy Thanksgiving and a good holiday.